All right, welcome back to Database History. Today, we are diving into an engine that's pretty much at the heart of modern AI, and that's Pinecone. We're talking about a fully managed, cloud-native vector database that was built from the ground up for the absolutely massive scale of today's intelligence systems. So let's get right into it.
So, to really get why Pinecone is such a big deal, you gotta start with a really fundamental question. We all know AI applications have this incredible memory, right? It's almost human like. But how do you actually search that memory? It's not like just hitting Control F and looking for a keyword in a document. It's a whole different ballgame.
And that's exactly what leads us to the rise of this entirely new category of search. See, the kind of data that AI generates, things like text embeddings or image representations, it's just fundamentally different from what we're used to. And yeah, it creates a pretty unique challenge.
Okay, so this is where a concept called similarity search comes into play. Just imagine for a second. You're not searching for the literal word robot, but you're trying to find the idea, the concept of artificial intelligence. That's what similarity search does. It finds the closest match in this vast, high-dimensional space. Think of it like a giant, complex map with hundreds, maybe thousands of different attributes. And it finds matches based on meaning and context, not just simple keywords. It's all about searching for concepts.
And this really gets to the heart of the problem with older tech. A classic SQL database? Oh, it's fantastic at finding exact matches. You need to pull up a user record with a specific ID? No problem. But ask that same database to find something that feels like this song, or an article with a similar argument, and it's completely lost. It just can't do it. And that is the world where AI lives and breathes. So the million-dollar question is, how do you solve this problem at a massive enterprise scale? Well, that's exactly where Pinecone enters the picture. It's not a repurposed old tool. It's a purpose-built solution designed from the ground up specifically for this new kind of search. So at its core, Pinecone is a fully managed cloud-native vector database. Okay, let's unpack that jargon a little bit. Vector database, that just means it's built for that similarity search we were just talking about. Fully managed and cloud-native, that's the really sweet part. It means you don't have to worry about setting up servers, you don't have to manage any of the underlying infrastructure. It's basically search delivered as a service. And here's how it works. It's actually incredibly straightforward. First, your AI model takes your data. Could be text, images, audio, whatever, and it turns it into these numerical representations. We call those vector embeddings. Step 2, you just send those embeddings over to Pinecone. And then, step 3, Pinecone takes care of the rest. Its whole job is to index all of that, and then find the closest matches, like super, super fast. But here's the thing, it's not just about being easy to use. It's built for the real world, for production. Because it's a cloud-native service, it handles a ton of complex stuff for you automatically. Like, for instance, metadata filtering. This lets you do these really powerful similarity searches, but combine them with old-school filters. So you could search for products that are conceptually similar to a jacket, but only show me the ones in the color blue. And it scales horizontally, which is a fancy way of saying it can handle more and more demand without you having to lift a finger. And when we talk about scale, we really mean it. Pinecone is engineered to handle billions of vectors. And that's not just some big abstract number. You have to think of that as the long-term memory for a massive production-level AI application. This isn't some little research tool. We're talking about an industrial-strength engine here. Okay, so this brings us to a really important discussion in the whole database world. It's that classic trade-off, right? The choice between using a managed service or rolling up your sleeves and doing it yourself with open source tools. So here's the crucial comparison. On one side, you've got Pinecone. It's a managed service and it's all about delivering results, fast, without the headaches. On the other side, you've got these amazing, powerful open source tools like Face or Qdrant, and they give you a ton of flexibility. But that flexibility comes with a price. You're responsible for all the setup and all the ongoing operations. Now, don't get me wrong, some teams absolutely need that level of control for deep customization, or maybe to manage costs at a really extreme scale. But for most folks, the trade-off is pretty clear. And honestly, this quote just nails it. It perfectly sums up Pinecone's entire value proposition. It's for teams who want results, not infrastructure headaches. You want to focus on building your amazing AI app, not on becoming an expert in managing some complex distributed vector search system. All right, so the theory is great and all, but let's talk about how this actually shows up in real products. Where can you see Pinecone making an impact out in the wild? Well, one of the biggest and most obvious places is in making chatbots, actually smart. By using Pinecone as a kind of long-term memory, a chatbot can pull up relevant context from past conversations. So it actually remembers that you were talking about hiking last week, and it can suggest some trails instead of this giving you some generic canned response. It's also a total game changer for recommendation engines. This is how a music app can suggest a brand new indie artist that has the same vibe as your favorite classic rock band. That's a connection that a simple genre tag could never, ever make. It's all about that contextual similarity, not just matching up categories. And then you get into more critical areas, like threat and fraud detection. I mean, think about this. Imagine a financial transaction that doesn't trigger any of the normal standard fraud rules. But when you look at it as a vector, it's suspiciously close to a known pattern of fraudulent activity. Pinecone helps systems spot that kind of subtle, hidden risk and flag it in real time. Pinecone's timing was just perfect. It launched back in 2021, right at the exact moment when companies were shifting from just experimenting with AI models to actually putting them into production. It filled that massive, critical gap between the research tools that existed and what enterprises really needed to go live. And, well, it's been riding that huge wave of AI adoption ever since. So there you have it. That's Pinecone, a database truly built for this cloud-first, AI-driven world. And it leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. As AI itself becomes less of a specialized, complex thing and more like basic infrastructure, like plugging something into an electrical outlet, does that mean the future of the databases that power it is almost entirely managed? Or are we just moving away from the build-it-yourself era and heading toward a future where you just plug it in? Definitely something to think about. Until next time on Database History, keep those queries curious.